What's up, guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Daredevil, the Man Without Fear 3-pack Hasbro Pulse exclusive. We have Bullseye, Daredevil, and Elektra over here with some very iconic looks. Well, I mean, not as iconic for Bullseye, but yeah, the Elektra very much reminds me of Frank Miller artwork more than anything else, and I'm excited to see another iconic hero, or one of my favorite agile characters, with this Renew Your Vows body mold for Daredevil. So I'm pretty pumped for at least 2 out of the 3 figures. Anyway, you get product shots on the back and along the sides, and you get Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, written on the top with the Billy Club coming through the shot, which looks cool, and then not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. But first, I gotta give a big thanks to today's sponsor. Thank you, Factor Meals, for sponsoring this YouTube channel. I've talked about it before, but I love my junk food, man, and I am trying to cut down and find other options. If you're like me and you have a busy schedule, I drive from the city from gigging a whole bunch late at night, like last night, and instead of picking up the junk food, I had myself a Factor meal, and it was delicious. I really like the quality of the product. It tastes really good. Hearty meat portions in there, and the price point's comparable to my favorite combo meals via the junk food. So if you're sick of burger, and you need something quick, I really think Factor Meals is the way to go. I prefer popping them in the oven, but you can microwave them, of course. Plus, they have these delicious smoothies that are so good, man. So check them out. Factor Meals, I think it's the way to go if you're looking for a different option and you're trying to get away from the junk food. If you use the promo code POGPRIME60, you'll get 60% off your first box. Big thanks again, Factor Meals. Check them out. Link in the description below. And here are all 3 figures out of the packaging, and I gotta say, I have been having a lot of fun with this 3-pack set. I especially like the Elektra and Daredevil figures. Bullseye, on the other hand, I do have my gripes. I will get into it with the Bullseye figure. But for the most part, it's pretty cool stuff going on over here. And we do have some accessories which we'll look at as we look at each of the figures. So I've been asking for it forever and been wanting it, and getting that photoreal tech on these head sculpts is fantastic. We're starting with the Bullseye figure right here because it's my least favorite of the 3, I think, for most of us. But yeah, you can see how the paint has improved on these head sculpts. I do have that weird brown paint splotch on the tip of the older version's nose, but you know, just looking at the eyes right there and the detail on the mouth, we have painted lips now where we didn't get that before. The eyebrows look more natural. The paint under the eyes, like, just everything about it just looks better. So I'm very much happy to have an updated head sculpt. And you look at this one right here, it's definitely there. Paint apps are okay. I feel like my Bullseye logo looks a little bit better on this older version right here. And then this one right here does look all right. And they went with more of a black color for the arms and legs. This is very much like a midnight blue color right here on the first one, which I do prefer. I mean, obviously, this is the preferred figure of the 2. Why they went with this right here in the blue, I don't know, man. I mean, there's so many other options that they could have gone with, but they went with this, which was from a specific storyline that I haven't read, and I don't know. I haven't heard anybody get that thrilled about it. You know what would have been cool is if they did something like the Toy Biz Bullseye and did a variant kind of like that, where we had a dirtier version. That bums me out that they went in this direction, because I can't put this thing on display. I think it looks hideous. And then you can see right here, he does have a knife in the back sheath right there, and no gun for the holster, which is extremely frustrating. I think that's weird. He does have fisted hands, which is pretty cool. And I did see Dave displaying model behavior, and I saw how outraged he was over this, and I was like, man, you're ridiculous. How are you going to get that upset? They came with finger gun, and that's what this is for. No reason to get so upset, dude. You're supposed to just put the finger in there just like that, right? I'm totally kidding. Anyway, you get a silver belt buckle right there. Nice paint right here on the calves and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. You also get the same throwing daggers that we'd seen before. I'm sad that the figure doesn't come with a gun, but more sad about all this blue paint right here. I don't like that design. It actually comes with 2 gripping hands, but neither of them have trigger fingers. And then we have the best Elektra figure probably ever made. This is an incredible piece. Man, I love that face sculpt so much, and I really like this hair a lot. The bandana looks good. Nice wrinkles over here and everything. Man, this looks really nice with that nice motion coming off to her left. looks really, really cool with the lipstick. The eye paint looks fantastic. Again, the photoreal tech on the comic figures makes me so happy. This Elektra head sculpt is next level, man. I love the hair sculpt over here. Now, this head sculpt is a bit stiff for that ball peg. I did have to heat up the head a couple of times, so be wary of that. I recommend you heat it up, and you can see these weird plastic lines, and I did heat this up, as I mentioned, but man, that eye paint, lipstick looks great. This just has Frank Miller written all over it, and he's done other Elektra hair designs, you know, but I actually really like this one a lot, and I'm just really impressed with how they executed this hair. It looks really good, man. I forgot to say when I had this one out here is that they didn't just do an easy repaint with the other head sculpt. You know what I mean? They could have just went the easy route and just changed this to white instead of red, but no, we got this right over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this again with the red version. I hope they make a red version because we have the Shriek body mold over here, and it just works out so damn well for Elektra. The white paint looks mostly solid. You can see little bits, you know, tiny little bits of imperfections. Mostly looks very solid. Now you can see a slight difference in color right here between the thigh and the hip right there. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really just noticed that now while shooting. So it's not that big of a deal. You can see some of the gappage right here with the paint, you know, it's not 100% smooth. And it would have been nice if, you know, if they're trying to, you know, show this as like a wrap, it's kind of a weird way to paint it like that because, yeah, they could have added some lines right here. So that would have been cool. I'm not going to lie. They could have executed that a little better, but I'm still overall really happy with this piece. Now, from some of the Frank Miller images, this piece is a lot shorter. So what I did was I did heat up the figure and I did pop her off at the diaphragm joint. And yeah, I did have to take the head off first before doing that. But it looks a little bit cooler to me like this. Now, you jovencitos and younglings, you know, they don't look. But hey, this looks kind of cool. It's more fun to pose around this way. I don't know. There's some cool poses that I got her in when she didn't have the little skirt piece right there. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But for interchangeable hands, she has one sword holding hand for the left side and then one sai holding hand for the right. And you could put a sai right over here if you'd like. But unfortunately, she cannot hold this sword in... Well, I guess she can. There you go. You can get her to hold it right here. It just looks a little bit weird with the fingers sticking out like that. But I guess you can make that work. And unfortunately, I did lose some paint right over here, and I didn't do that. Just came like that out of the box. So this is a Typhoid Mary sword. We'd seen this before. And then you also get the two sai right over here, which look really good. Did have to heat these up to straighten them out, so be wary. But they're the same ones that we'd seen with the previous Elektra figure. Just painted black at the handle instead of red. Then we have the man without fear, Matt Murdock, and wow, what a great looking new head sculpt. I do like it. The lip paint looks pretty good. I dig that. Eyes look great. Love the horns. Love the seams coming across the top of the head right over here. How you can see it coming through the back. Really dig the little wrinkles. Wish we had a proper neck hinge right over here. I'm not going to go through the articulation on any of these figures. You can only get them to look upward that far, which is unfortunate for a Daredevil figure. So I wish we got more range of movement over there. As far as the Elektras go, you're not going to get a whole ton of movement with these head sculpts. Neither of them really allow too much movement. This one you're going to get a little bit more. But anyway, getting back to this guy right here, we have the Renew Your Vows body mold, and I think it looks great. I mean, it's mostly just all red. Nice deco right there with the DD. I could see it just fine. I guess Joey was complaining about that before, but yeah, not anymore once getting it in handed, and I think it looks okay. One thing I did like about the 4-pack Daredevil figure is that you had the cutoff right here for the forearms and the boots. We don't get that over here with this one. It's just red all the way through. I think this is a new holster right over here for Daredevil. Oh no, they're the same. Totally wrong about that, but I do like the new batons right over here. And then the straps right over here very well match the color of the figure itself, so that's really good. Then we have those articulated toes. So happy to have a Daredevil with the articulated toes. So you have two different baton display options. You have this one that we'd seen before, and you can see that we have this nice sculpt right here in the rope and everything. Did I get that all the way? Yes, I did. And it looks really good. I like the gray paint or the gray plastic that they used for it. No bendy wire, but the fact that we get two of these, to me, it makes up for it. It really does, because now you can get him throwing a baton with this effect piece, and this is really awesome. I'm so happy with this thing. Very, very cool to have. So I'm really digging that. And it measures at about 9.5 inches across, so that's pretty cool, man. He also does come with his baton holding hands. So you saw him a second ago with fisted hands, but he has the baton holding hands as well as the fisted hands. Another thing is getting a Daredevil with the drop down hips right over here. Ah, so sick. I really wish we got wide open hands with this figure. I should mention that, especially because he's posed with like one wide open hand a lot of the time, or maybe two wide open hands. Also, I need to mention that getting this top joint to move for the double jointed pinless elbow is very tricky for me, so I had to heat it up. Make sure you heat yours up so that you don't accidentally break the peg that goes from the shoulder to the bicep, because I felt like I almost did at one point. Measure out the height of all three of these figures. You can see they're all standing actually at about the same height, which is pretty cool. They're all at around 6.5 inches tall, especially with Elektra and that big hair. And for Hasbro Bullseye figure comparison, you can see that we have the first version right over here. Was this from the Man-Thing wave? I could be wrong. And then we have the new one right here from the 3-pack. Kind of funny. I did not have the gun in the holster, I guess, on the shelf while he was there this whole time. But you can see the stripes are thicker on this one. You can see subtle differences between the two of them. And then to bring out the two Toy Biz Bullseyes, I did want to compare them to this Bullseye over here. I still have this one on display, thus it having kind of like the dirty brown over the white right over there. But I really wish they went with a design that kind of looked like this. Like a dirtied Bullseye would have been really neat to have. Plus this has like a metallic shimmer in it, which I think is neat. Kind of represents him having the adamantium bones. No, but that one, I just don't like that design. Then to swap the heads for that Elektra right there, I wanted to compare her to the Hasbro Elektra, and we have the Toy Biz Elektra. I did not get the white variant from Toy Biz, but yeah, I can't wait to see a red version. I don't mind the repaint, you know, and this is not the same exact body as Shriek. The upper torso is different, of course. One thing I wanted to mention, this is a Series 4 Elektra figure here from Toy Biz, and this figure had double jointed elbows at Toy Biz Series 4, and it took so many years for us to get an Elektra with double jointed elbows, or any female figure with double jointed elbows from Hasbro. It just took a long time. Plus she has the toe joints right there. Why can't we get toe joints on all of them? And then for a Daredevil comparison, we have my Hasbro Daredevil from the Defenders 4-pack, which has been my favorite Daredevil up until this point. And then we have the Toy Biz Daredevil from the Spider-Man series, which I still love and still have had on display with that Bullseye. And I expected this figure to be taller. This is the Bucky Cap mold over here, and I don't know why. It felt like a taller figure, but I guess it's not. Oh, and to snap on a Matt Murdock head, I had to see how this would work. To heat that head up, but it does fit on there. Man, that looks sick. All right. Sits a little high on that neck, but still, nope, that looks pretty cool to me. I like it. And I tried a head swap right here with the Defenders version, and I mean, they scale okay. They just don't have the same peg size, so yeah, it's not really a perfect match over here. I guess if you really liked this older one, you could make it work, I guess, but I don't know. I'm happier with that head sculpt on it. Here's the new Daredevil next to the Vintage Collection Kingpin, and oh my goodness, it's so satisfying having these two figures side by side. They both look fantastic. Then here's Daredevil next to my two new favorite Spider-Man figures from my Marvel Legends collection. We have the first appearance version and the Renew Your Vows version, which shares the same body mold as this Daredevil right over here, but unfortunately, this Daredevil is shorter than this Spider-Man. So yeah, it's going to be my preference to use this body mold. Maybe not this specific figure, maybe the Walmart version or the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends version, but I'm thinking this might be the better body mold for Spider-Man. I don't know, let me know what you think is better for your Daredevil display. I like having Spidey just be a tad shorter than Daredevil. Then here's the three figures next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Whoa, you got super duper hearing. Does that mean that you can tell people are gonna fart before they fart? Am I gonna fart? Am I gonna fart? Am I gonna fart? Am I gonna fart? Am I gonna... Ah! Oh, I farted. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button. And if you are new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Well, I'm asking you to do it, but it's really for your own good. It's not like I benefit from it or anything. I'm all over the place with that jokes, aren't I? Anyway, this 3-pack set is awesome. I really do like it, even though I don't like the Bullseye. I just think it's a very odd choice, and I know it's from the comics and stuff, but yeah, they could have done something else, I think, right? You know, like a dirtier Bullseye or something. That would have been cool. I don't really have any complaints about the Elektra or the Daredevil. I mean, if I have complaints, they're nitpicks. I guess the wrap pattern for the Elektra is kind of wonky with just having those cuts like that. But that's really my biggest gripe. Oh, getting the neck hinge and everything for the Daredevil, that's really my biggest gripe right there. The price point isn't my favorite, but I really like the figures, or at least I like 2/3 of the figures a lot, so it makes me hard to be that mad at it, especially because I really love the Elektra and Daredevil figures, like, a lot. I really am happy with them. So at the price point around, what, was this like 75, 80 bucks? I'm gonna give it a Sun rating of, I love it! And that's unfortunate about the Bullseye. I don't know, maybe I could customize it, or maybe I could, I mean, I'm gonna at least use that alternate head on my Hawkeye and replace the old version, so at least I have use for it there. I don't know, I may come up with something later on, but that does bum me out. I wish I really loved all three of them, but it's kind of like, pass on the Bullseye, love the other two, but, you know, overall, I like it. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and on whatnot. We're giving away a HasLab Galactus, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. Your face,